Hello everyone, I am happy to see you again, and in this lecture I will be discussing design of RCC cantilever retaining wall, the step-by-step procedure as per IS 456-2000. Here let us take an example for understanding the design concept. A cantilever retaining wall to retain an earth embankment. For an embankment, we are going to design the structure and for a height of 4 meter from the ground level, that is the lower ground level, and the prerequisite of this is density of the material, which is essential in order to proceed the design, which is given as the soil density, which is resisted by the retaining wall is 18 kilonewton per meter cube, and angle of internal friction is phi, which is 30 degree, and the third thing is safe bearing capacity of soil, which is given here as 200 kilonewton per meter square, and also a coefficient of friction between soil and concrete. So this we have to use while designing the sliding check. So the structure should be checked for sliding force, which I have discussed in failure concept in the earlier lecture. So for that we need this frictional force between the soil and concrete, and for this design we are going to adopt M20 grade concrete and Fe415 grade steel bars. So what is required here is a cross section of retaining wall showing the reinforcement detail. So you should design the dimension first, and for the dimension of stem and base you have to show the reinforcement detail and the longitudinal section of the curtailment. And next let us start the design here. So first you should find the dimension of the wall. The given data here is from the lower grade of soil up to the level of retainment, the height is 4 meter. Now when we are designing a structure, we need a foundation for a structure. So this is the actual height of retainment. In order to retain this, we need a foundation. So a depth of foundation should be found. So for that we will be using P by W 1 minus sin phi divided by 1 plus sin phi the whole square. This is known as active earth pressure. For finding that, P will be the safe bearing capacity of the soil, which is given earlier as 200, and density of the soil is 18 kilonewton per meter cube. If you divide this, you will be getting the phi is given here as 30 degree. If you simplify this, you will be getting 1 by 3. After getting the two components, if you simplify this, you will be getting 1.2 meter. So this structure has to be constructed from a depth of 1.2 meter. So first thing is found out. And next one, what about the height of the wall? Now 4 meter is required and plus 1.2 meter of foundation, which is this is superstructure and this is substructure. And if you add that, you will be getting H equal to 5.2 meter, which is the overall height which is required. And next thing is thickness of base slab. So this is the base slab, which consists of heel and toe slab. You are having the thumb rule for finding the thickness of the slab, that is H by 12, where H here is the overall height of the stem. And after finding this, we know that 5200 is the overall depth, and 12, if you divide that, you will be getting 433 mm. If we round off the value, you will be getting 450 mm. We found that the depth is required here is 450 mm or 0.45 meter. And next one, height of the stem. We know that overall dimension is 5.2 and the base slab thickness is 0.45, and the remaining height will be the stem height, which will be 5.2 minus 0.45. which you will be getting it as 4.75 meter, which is known as the stem height. Also, you need the base of the slab width. For that, you are having a thumb rule of 0.5 capital H to 0.6 capital H. What is capital H? Which is the overall height. From this height, you need at least in between this range, which is 0.5 into 5.2 and 0.6 into 5.2, you are getting these values, and in between this you can consider it as 3 meter. So the overall width of the base slab is found as 3 meter, and now let us split into heel slab and toe slab. Where the portion of the soil is retained needs more width, hence we are considering 1.55 meter, and the other part, the depth of stem at the lower part we have found as 0.45 meter. So which you have to leave this for the reinforcement. Why? Because the reinforcement will be going from the top to the bottom. So its overall height, the reinforcement will be distributed, the stem reinforcement. Hence you need a 0.45 meter for the stem portion reinforcement, and the remaining portion will be 1 meter. Hence we have distributed the heel slab and toe slab width. So next let us proceed for the step 2, design of stem. Now when we are designing the stem portion, so from this part up to the overall height is the stem. When designing the stem, first you have to find the moment. So the moment will be maximum at the bottom. So this is the force, which is the earth force, which is acting in the stem. What is the force? That is KAWH square divided by 2. So how we arrived that, you can refer the previous lecture and get clarity regarding this. And if you want moment at this point, so in the structure, the distribution of this force is under a uniformly varying load, that is a triangular phenomena. So for that, for a triangle, the centroid will be acting at 1/3 of the height. So what is the height here? Height here is 4.75. So 4.75 by 3. Hence in this formula, if you want to find the moment here, you have to multiply load into distance. What is the distance here? This is h by 3, that is 1/3. So if you multiply Ka into Wh square by 2 into h by 3, you will be getting this formula, and which is known as the moment. If you substitute all the values, W here is given as 18, which is the unit weight of soil, and h here is 4.75 Q. If you divide this and simplify, you will be getting 107.2 kilonewton meter. And the second concept is factored moment. If you want to find factored moment, in order to overcome the failure due to the active earth pressure, you have to multiply by a factor which is known as 1.5. And if you multiply with this moment, you will be getting 161 kilonewton meter. For this moment, you have to provide the reinforcement. Okay, let us check for the depth here. So if you want to proceed with any structure, you should check for the depth which is provided. So let us check. Mu here, what we got is 161 kilonewton meter into 10 power 6. This is in terms of kilonewton meter. Now we are substituting in terms of Newton mm, and FCK is characteristic compressive strength of concrete, which is given. It has 20, and B is, for all the structure we will be designing for 1 meter width, so which is 1000 mm. It is considered as 10 power 3. If you simplify this formula is available in IS 456. If you simplify, the depth essential for this stem is 240 2. Hence, we shall provide a overall depth of 450 mm. What is this overall depth? We will be providing 50 mm cover, and the depth of the stem which is provided here is 450, where required is 242. So we will be having cover at both the sides of 50 mm, 50 mm. Hence, this assumption will be satisfactory. And you can see that bottom which is provided as 450, and the moment will be very less, and it will be 0 in terms of the top. Hence, we are reducing the section here in order to get economy for construction. Hence, we are considering a overall depth of 0.2 or 0.2 meter or 200, which is provided on the top of the stem. And now let us find the reinforcement here. The formula here which is used as mu, which is the moment, 161 into 10 power 6 in terms of Newton mm, and you know that Fy is 415, which is permissible stress in steel, and D here is effective depth. The overall depth we have considered 450, and effective depth after cover we are considering 400. So AST which has to be found out, Fy D is 400 and B is 1000 mm, which is 1 meter with consideration. If you simplify this, you will be getting required AST is 1180 mm square. For this reinforcement, let us provide 16 mm dia bars at 150 mm center to center, which will be actual reinforcement which is provided it as 1340, which will be the actual reinforcement which is greater than the required. So hence we will provide, this is the main bar which we have found. So the main bar is a longitudinal bar which is flowing from bottom to top. So this vertical bars are provided in 16 mm dia at 150 mm center to center. For economic consideration, we will be reducing 1 bar after each. So after each bar, 1 bar will be reduced at the top of the stem. So hence the main bar which is provided at the top as 16 mm at 300 center to center. And for distribution reinforcement, you are having a minimum reinforcement condition, that is 0.12 percentage of cross section. What is the cross section of the stem? The depth we have found out as 0.45 meter, and breadth we will be considering 1 meter, and that is 450 into 1000 into 0.0012. You will be getting 540 mm square, which is the distribution reinforcement essential. For this area, let us provide 10 mm dia bar at 250 center to center on both the faces, which will be 630 mm square, which is actual. Also is greater than the required. You can see that the main bars are provided, and in the top you can see 1 bar is removed. In case of distribution bar, you have to provide from top to bottom of same dia and same spacing. There should not be elimination of distribution bar. Why? Because this is the minimum essential reinforcement. Hence, from the bottom to top, the distribution bar should be 10 mm at 250 center to center. Yes. Next, we shall go for stability calculation. Why we are going here is, right now we have designed the stem of this retaining wall, and for designing a stem, you had only one force, which is active earth pressure. While designing the base of the retaining wall, you will be having the stem force is distributed to the base of the slab, and this load is transferred into the soil. Hence, this is a footing design generally. there will be a force which is resisted by the soil. What is the safe bearing capacity of the soil? Is 200 kilonewton per meter square. So force which is acting and which is transferring from the stem to the base, it should be distributed under equilibrium condition. So hence, in order to find the equilibrium, you should check for stability calculation. So let us go for this calculation, and we should check that the force which is coming down by resisting the soil should be equilibrium in this footing in order to have a stable retaining wall design. So for that, let us find the load of each and every component. So what are the components are here? First one is self weight of the stem, which is W1, and this is the W2, which is the base of the slab, and W3 is soil which is retained. So this is the soil which we will consider and which is taken as W3. And the fourth force is active earth pressure. So let us consider one by one. Finding the self weight, the dead load which is transferred, this is like a trapezoid. For this trapezoid, you can simplify into two components. What are they? Consider it as a rectangle, that is 200 mm. Throughout this, you can consider it as a rectangle, and another part will be a triangle. So the overall height is 450 mm. If you subtract 200 mm, you will be getting the base of the triangle. So first we shall consider the rectangular part, that is 0.2 into the height. Height is 4.75. So 0.2 into 4.75 multiplied by the unit weight of the concrete. So if you multiply that, you will be getting a magnitude of 22.8. And next, the triangular part, you are having a base of 0.25. How to find the area of a triangle? Area is half BH. Half is 0.5 and B here is 0.25 and the height here is 4.75. If you multiply this area into 24, which is the density of the concrete, you will be getting 14.25. And the second part is base of the slab, so W2. What is the formula to find this area? Breadth into depth. What is the breadth? Breadth is 3 meter and depth here is 0.45. So 3 into 0.45 into its density of concrete is 24, you will be getting 32.4, and W3 is the weight of the soil which is acting. So we will be considering the area which is covered by the heel slab. So the width will be 1.55 meter and depth will be 4.75. 4.75 into 1.55 into density of the soil is 18. If you multiply, you will be getting 132.5. And for finding the moment about the point A, so this is point A. If you want to find the moment at this point, how to calculate this? What are the forces? The forces are, first one is the rectangular section. For this rectangle, the centroid will act, if this is point 2, the centroid will act exactly at point 1. So this centroid distance will be 0.1. We are considering at the point A, hence we have to add 0.1. The distance here is 1.55. So 0.1 plus 1.55 is 1.65. The second section is imaginary triangle here. For this triangle, the centroid will be 1/3 of base. What is the base here? Which is 0.25. 0.25 by 3. 0.25 by 3 plus you will be having a 0.2 here plus 1.55. 0.25 by 3, you will be getting 0.083 plus 0.2 plus 1.55. You will be getting 1.83. And next thing is base component. The centroid of this component This is total width is 3 meter and the centroid will be acting at 1.5. So the base slab distance from the point A is 1.5. And the third component W3, the distance from A is, so A is here. So the width is 1.55. So the 1.55 by 2 will be 0.78. So the centroid will act exactly here. This distance will be 0.78. Finally, the moment of the earth pressure. So the earth pressure is also a force. The centroid of this force will be, we have already considered and we have found out as 107.17. Due to this moment at the point A, if you consider load into distance, so this we have already found it as 107.17. If we add this, sum of all moment is 322.81 and sum of all load is 201.95. Next. Let us find for eccentricity. I have earlier discussed that if you are designing any retaining wall or liquid retaining structure, you will be having a force which is acting. This may be a water or this may be a soil force, which is active earth force here, which is horizontal, and you are having the self weight of the structure, which is W. So due to this two force, you will be having a resultant force which is acting. So this resultant force should fall within middle third in order to be in a equilibrium position. So that's why the eccentricity has to be found here. It should be B by 6. So B by 6 is the limit of eccentricity. So what is B? B is the width of the base slab, which is 3, that is 3 by 6 is 0.5. Now what is our eccentricity is E equal to Z minus B by 2, that is the width of the base slab is 3 meter and the centroid will act exactly at 1.5. So 3 by 2 is 1.5. Z what we got is, so from the A, Z is 1.6. So if you minus that, you will be getting 0.1 meter as the eccentricity. E is lesser than B by 6. Hence it is safe against the resultant force. Next part. Let us find the pressure. So far we found out the stability concept and we have checked for the resultant force eccentricity. Now let us find the soil pressure. Due to the forces which consist of W1, W2, W3 and this active earth pressure, you will be transferring some load to the soil below the footing. So this force transferring mechanism should be drawn here. So to find this value intensity, you will be using sigma, stress minimum and maximum. So due to the force which is acting at one side, you will be having maximum force at the toe slab area. So E maximum will be toe slab area and E minimum will be heel slab point. So let us use this formula, sum of W by B 1 plus or minus 6E by B, where W here is total load which is acting, which we already found that 201.95 divided by base. Base is 3, hence 1 plus 6E. E eccentricity what we got is 0.1 divided by base. This is 3. So if you substitute by plus or minus, you will be getting maximum of 80.76, which is the force which is acting at the D point, and the minimum force at the point A, which will be 53. If you draw a line after projecting the points, you will be getting a trapezoid here. So this is the force distribution or the stress distribution to the soil. So we should check for the capability of the soil in order to take the force which is acting on it. Now we should understand that the safe bearing capacity is 200 kilonewton per meter square. You can check that nowhere it is gone beyond the limit. It is well below the limit and the maximum here is 80.7. Now let us start the heel slab design. While designing a slab, you should find the equilibrium force and find the net force. First, for designing a heel slab, what is the force which is acting downward? That is W2. That is W2 self weight of heel slab. The breadth here and depth is 0.45 into unit weight of concrete. If you multiply that, you will be getting 16.7. And another force which is acting in heel slab part is the soil force, which is 1.55 into 4.75 into 18, which you will be getting 132.5. So if you want to find the distance from point B, so from the point B we are taking the moment and designing the heel slab. For this cantilever section at B point we will be taking the moment. While taking the moment, the distance from B will be 1.55, the centroid will be at 1.55 by 2, that is 0.775. Hence it is taken as 0.775, and the soil load is also at the same width of 1.55. Hence each centroid will act also at 0.775. So if you multiply the load into this distance, you will be getting the moment at the point B. If you want to find the total force after the stability calculation, you should take up from the stress distribution of the soil. We have to consider only the heel part. What is the heel part area? That is B, A, H, G. So these are the parts. So in between that you can see a rectangle and a triangle here. In order to find this area, how to find this? You can find the rectangular area 53.84. So 53.84 into 1.55, which is the height and which is the width. So if you multiply that, you will be getting the magnitude of 83.45. And what about this triangle? 13.9, which is the distance. So you should find the distance here, the overall distance. How to find this overall distance? You can find by interpolation. So I by G, you will be getting 13.9. The base here is 13.9 and width here is 1.55. So if you multiply, base is 13.9 and width is 1.55 into 1 by 2, that is half BH, you will be getting the magnitude into the distance. What will be the distance? For this triangle, this is acting at B by 3. So B here is 1.55, so 1.55 by 3 will be 0.156. So if you multiply that, you will be getting 5.55. The upward force and downward force is arrived here. And for the upward and downward force, if you subtract that, you will be getting the net bending moment, that is 45.40 kilonewton meter. Hence, for the remaining load, you have to design your structure. So by this net load, 45.4 into 1.5, that is a factor of safety, you will be getting 68.1. And for this force, you are using this formula, and only one component which changes is 68.1 into 10 power 6. The remaining components you know earlier. Hence, you will be getting the AST of 484 mm square. If you solve this, you will be getting AST, and for this you are providing a 12 mm dia bar and a distance of 200 mm center to center. You will be getting 585, which is provided, which is required, and this is provided reinforcement, which is higher. Hence, after that main reinforcement, you can go for distribution bar. The formula here is 0.12 percentage of BD. So B here is 1000 and D here is 450. If you multiply this, you will be getting 540 mm square. This is nearly here similar. We are providing the same reinforcement which is provided for main bar, and the distributor will also have a same reinforcement of 12 mm dia bar at 200 mm center to center. Now what we have designed? We have designed a heel slab, this part. So for designing heel slab, we found that the main bars are, which is along the width direction, and the distributors are the dots which is provided here, which will go throughout the length. Both are 12 mm dia bar and 200 mm center to center. Now next we have to design for toe slab. For toe slab also you should go for the stability calculation. Now let us go at the toe part. This is the toe part, so we should find the equilibrium between these two parts. First we shall calculate the force which is coming down to the foundation. What are they? Toe slab which is having a breadth of 1 meter and depth of 0.45, and the breadth here is 1 meter and depth here is 0.45, and if you multiply by 24 unit weight of concrete, you will be getting 10.8, and you are having a soil here which will be having a load of, the distance here is 1, and the height will be, this is 0.45, this is 1.2. So 1.2 minus 0.45 will be 0.75. 0.75 into distance is 1, the density of the soil is 18, you will be getting 13.5. And if you want to find the moment here, how to find moment? You have to find the centroid. So you have to find the distance here. The toe slab distance is 1 meter. The centroid will act exactly at 0.5. So for toe slab it will be 0.5, as well as for the soil you will be having 0.5. So you will be finding moment at point C. Next one, you have to find the pressure distribution area. So this length is 71.78. You have found out by using interpolation. If you are having 53.84 and 80.76, you can find the distance anywhere between the soil area. So we have found out as 71.78. So if we consider it as a rectangle, the height will be 71.78 and width will be 1. So 71.78 into 1 will be this answer. And for this triangle, the total length is 80.76 minus 71.78, you will be getting the remaining distance. So this distance will be 8.98 into distance is 1. The formula for finding area is half BH, half into 8.98 into 1. Hence you will be getting 4.49. Now coming into the centroid, how to find centroid of this rectangle? So 1 meter by 2, so 1 by 2 is 0.5, and you will be having centroid of 0.5 for the rectangle. Here will be the centroid, so the remaining distance will be 2/3 of B. So what is B here? The B is 1, so 2/3 of B will be 0.67. So if you multiply this, you will be getting moment about this point C. Hence you have to add this and find the total upward and downward force. 38.89 minus 12.15, you will be getting the net force. So for this net force, we got 26.74, you have to multiply by factor, and the same process which we are following, finding AST and providing minimum and checking for minimum reinforcement, that is, which is 275 is mm square is minimum. We already know that for this section we need 540 mm square. Hence we are providing 12 mm dia bars at 200 center to center, both in main rod as well as the distributors. So the same reinforcement which is provided for toe slab also. And the design is over here. Next, we should go for check. So the following are the check which has to be done in order for stability requirement. Now for strength requirement we have satisfied, we have designed the stem and we have designed the base. Now we are checking for stability. For sliding, why this structure slides? So this structure slides due to the frictional force imbalance. So you have to find the balanced force, and in order to balance that you have to do the following procedure. Now we already know that the force which is acting from the soil, which is active earth force, is the formula is Ka into Wh square by 2. If you multiply this, you will be getting 81.12, which is the horizontal force which is acting in this structure. So it tends to move the structure. The soil should have enough friction to resist this force. So let us check for that. In given data, they have given 0.5 as the frictional coefficient. So what is the total dead load of the structure? The dead load is 201.95, which we have identified in stability calculation. If you multiply that, we are having a frictional resistance of 100.975 kilonewton. So if you divide this 100.97 by 81.12, we are getting 1.25. In this previous lecture, I have mentioned that the factor of safety against sliding should be 1.5. It should be greater than 1.5. Hence, we have to provide additional safety for sliding. We are using this shear key. If this value is beyond 1.5, no need of shear key, but currently we need a shear key design. So we know that the total shear force which is acting at the shear key point is 71.78. So this is the point where the shear force is acting. We know that from the soil we are having a force of 71.78 at the point C. So let us find the passive earth pressure. See here the term which is indicated here as passive, Kp. Kp is inverse of Ka. So that is why it is inversed. So Ka is 1 by 3. If you inverse 1 by 3, you will be getting 3. Then you have to multiply it by the soil pressure just in front of shear key, that is 71.78. If you multiply that, you will be getting the passive soil earth pressure. And for this passive soil earth pressure, if you multiply it by the into 1, you will be getting 97 kilonewton. So this is the force which is in addition. So that is the passive earth pressure. We already have 100.975 force. If you add 97 force, which is the passive earth pressure, how you got 0.45 is we are increasing a structure which is known as shear key. So the depth of shear key provided is 0.45. Hence, after providing this depth, we got a passive force which is resisting the structure. Hence, if you add that, you will be getting nearly 198 divided by 81.12, which now the structure has factor of safety of 2.4, which is greater than 1.5. Now after providing the shear key, the structure is safe. After giving some design here, you have to provide the reinforcement. How to provide reinforcement? The code gives a thumb rule. We are having a thumb rule, that is 0.3% of reinforcement which is required for shear key. That is 0.3 divided by 100, which will be 0.003 in terms of B into D. What is the breadth of shear key? Will be 450 and depth of shear key will be 450 and unit width which is 1000. If you multiply that, we will be getting 1350 mm square. And let us provide 16 mm dia bar at 140 mm center to center. And what you have done is, I will show here. Yes, you have provided a shear key here, which is having a depth of 450. This is why you have considered this 450 with addition to the passive earth pressure. So the reinforcement also we have found out. Let us go to the last procedure. Shear stress at junction. Now let us find the shear stress at the junction. So there are two forces which are acting at the bottom of the structure. One is the active earth pressure, which we know that the force which is acting from the soil, which we found that is 81.12 kilonewton, which is acting to the stem, towards the stem of the structure, and there is a frictional force which is resisting the active force, which is 100.975, which we have found out earlier. See, this is what we are talking. The force which is acting from the soil is 81.12, and the force which is resisting the active earth pressure is 100.12. See, 100.975. So these are the two forces. For this two force, there will be a difference of shear. So let us multiply the force which is acting from the soil and consider the factored shear force minus the difference of the structure due to frictional force. You are getting a force of 20.7, which is known as the imbalanced shear force. So for balancing this shear force, let us consider a factor of safety of 1.5, and let us find it as 31 point. If you simplify this, you will be getting 31.05 kilonewton, and for this we should check for the shear stress. How to check for shear? You already know that we have to find the nominal shear stress, that is Vu by Bd. Vu here is 31.05 into 10 power 3 in terms of Newton, divided by B is 1000 and D is 400. If you multiply that, the shear force, this is nominal shear force acting here, is 0.077 Newton per mm square. We should check for the concrete shear stress carrying capacity. How to find that? You are having a tabular column which is given in IS 456. In table 19, you can see that 100 AS by BD, 100 AS you are getting it as AST, which we have provided in the shear key, which is 1350. You can check that we have provided a shear key of reinforcement 1350, and if you apply that divided by B into D, you will be getting 0.335. So 0.33 is in between these two values, that is 0.25 and 0.5. So if you want for M20 grade, for 0.25 it is 0.36, for 0.5 it is 0.48. So in between this you will be lying some value, so you have to interpolate and find that, and we can find the value after interpolation is 0.4 Newton per mm square. So the stress, which is shear stress which is acting, is 0.077, and the concrete shear strength capacity is 0.4 Newton per mm square, hence it is safe. So finally, this is the overall detailing of your structure. Now, by this process which you have followed, you have checked for sliding, you have checked for shear, you have designed your structure for bending moment. And finally, let us have the detailing here. So first we found out the reinforcement of the stem. It is main rod which is having a 16 mm at 300 at the top and 16 mm dia at 150 at the bottom, and a distributor is 10 mm dia at 250 center to center, which will be the dots here. So this will run throughout the structure and the stem design is over. And the heel slab we have provided 12 mm dia bar at 200 center to center. The toe slab also carries the same reinforcement, and a shear key is provided. For the shear key you have provided a 16 mm dia bar at 140 mm center to center. So the rod which you have used for main reinforcement in stem, which is same which is used in shear key, hence you can use the rod and you can continue and interlock into the shear key area. By this, the design of reinforced cement concrete cantilever retaining wall is designed here. All the requirement is being fulfilled, and I hope that you enjoyed this session. By practicing, by understanding, we can have a better engineering future. Happy learning. See you again. Thank you.